Perfection or not? Now that is an ADHD conundrum and a dilemma we are having to confront. Get caught up in the endless quest for perfection and risk missing the boat, or release attention talk video with its imperfection. We say done is better than perfect and are releasing attention talk video as is. We believe good content is good content. So what if we have a few production glitches? If you have ADHD, follow our lead. Don't use perfectionism as a reason to procrastinate. Welcome everybody to this edition of Attention Talk Video. I'm your host, Attention Coach Jeff Copper, and with us today is Wilma Fellman in our virtual studio, and we're here to talk about her book, The Other Me, Poetic Thoughts on ADD for Adults, Kids, and Parents. Wilma, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jeff.
This is real exciting for us. We did an interview with you on Attention Talk Radio on this very topic, and in that show, you shared with us many of the poems that you've written from this book with a little bit of background music. I think we call it like more concert, less radio, and it was really designed for people to consume the poetry from this book by just downloading on their iPod or something and kind of kick back and listening to it. So we wanted to have you on the show to kind of promote this a little bit. So first, can you tell us a little bit about the book, what inspired it, and what it's all about?
Absolutely. On the front cover of the book, let's see, I have one here. I just happen to have one right here. Is a very silly looking character that I call a Squirtle, which has become kind of, well, it's autobiographical for sure, but it's become an icon for an individual with ADD. A Squirtle is a combination of a squirrel and a turtle. And it came about as a result of when I was in graduate school, and a course I was taking asked us to label ourselves in terms of what animal we were most like. And I passed on the first time around, but the second time around I realized that there was no single animal that I could attach to myself, but that I was a hybrid of a squirrel who runs around and is very efficient and gets things done in a timely manner and accomplishes all kinds of great things, thank goodness. But then I pay a price for it because my energy level is such that I become a turtle. I pull in and I regenerate my energy. Usually those are times when I am also in my planning process, but I'm two very distinct types of animals, and so the poems came out of the desire to express to the world what it feels like to live inside an ADD body.
So it's autobiographical, and you're expressing what it feels like to live inside an ADD body.
Correct.
At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all inspired about, and there's some great stuff in here. Now, there's poems in here that you reflect back in your childhood,
yes,
your middle years, your adults, and as a parent?
Yes. There are some very painful moments. There's a poem called Lima Beans, Broccoli, and Liver, in which I am a sixth grader, and I, in a heartbeat, can be back being little Wilma in the sixth grade, about to be called on by a teacher who I felt was out to get me because I was inattentive in my ADD symptoms and tended to daydream and had a lot of trouble focusing, and doing out loud tests was a nightmare for me. And she loved doing out loud tests, and the painful anticipation of knowing the teacher is going to call on you as a child is something that you don't forget. And if someone has experienced that, I know that they'll be able to relate to that moment.
Absolutely, particularly with this description. And so the book is full of poetry, right?
Yes, it's all poems for adults with ADD, for kids with ADD, and definitely I am not only an adult that lives inside an ADD body, but I've also parented what I have called the poster child for ADD, who is now a 35-year-old young man, a wonderful,
Hmm.
wonderful person. But there were moments when the two of us were locked in combat that only a parent of an ADD child can remember and
Yep.
understand, that you don't think you're going to live through it. And so the last chapter of this book is for parents and how to relate to your children in that situation.
Excellent. And they can, for those that are interested in getting the book, where are the best places for them to find it?
Well, Amazon.com can have you read all about it and see reviews and so forth. That's a great place. It was published by Specialty Press, which is a division of ADD Warehouse. And if you go to addwarehouse.com, they have it as well, barnesandnoble.com, and any other bookstores.
Excellent. And you also, if you want to sample some of these, can listen to our episode with Wilma that I believe aired September the 4th in the year 2012 on Attention Talk Radio. All you have to do is just go to our archives and look it up back in September the 4th, and you can actually you can listen to our interview with Wilma there. And I think we have 20 minutes of uninterrupted poems put to music. So feel free to go sample that stuff as another teaser. But I encourage you to get to the book because this is it's a very inspirational book. Wilma, you did a great job with it, and as a matter of fact, I hope you don't mind, but we're actually going to run one of those excerpts after this. Just to share one or two poems with them to give them a feel. Is that okay?
That's fantastic. Sure.
All right, so we'll do that in just a second. But Wilma, again, thank you for coming on this edition of Attention Talk Video. Always a pleasure having you on, and we appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeff. It's always a pleasure to be here. This poem is from the book entitled The Other Me, Poetic Thoughts on ADD for Adults, Kids, and Parents, by Wilma Fellman. The book can be found on Amazon.com, addwarehouse.com, and other book-selling sources. Chaos. They say I'm impulsive. I rush to say, wait. I dash to get things done. I sprint at the gate. I hurry to speak before you are through. I fear that I'll lose that thought or a few. I dart on an errand that's not life or death, but if I don't do it, I won't take a breath. Until I have finished, that thought rules my mind. There's chaos inside me that renders me blind.